And then we will begin. I think there's still some people who are being admitted from the waiting room. Good morning. Okay, so as everybody is coming in, this workshop is being recorded. So I just wanted to remind everyone of that. And also if you could start to sign in your name and the CBO org in the chat box. And then there's just the time that you were here, the start and the end. You could start doing that now for everyone who's here, and then I'll remind everybody again as they come. Thank you, Danny. All right, so it's 10:03. There's a lot going on right now. So I'm going to pass it to my colleague, Elaine Porcher, who is our Senior Director of Business Development, to start us off for the day before we jump into today's workshop. So Elaine.
Hi, good morning. Thank you, Yindi. Good morning,
Welcome.
Danny. And good morning, everyone. We just thought we wanted to kind of just start with a little grounding. All of us have been hearing about the difficult events that have happened at the Capitol yesterday. Excuse me. And it's hitting some of us in very different ways. Some of us are experiencing a lot of emotion around this, and valid. So we just kind of wanted to start with a place of grounding and with a very, very short meditation. So some of us I know are still putting our names in the chat. There'll be folks that will still come on, and that's totally fine. But in this moment, I would love for everyone to get into a comfortable position with both feet on the floor. And if you can take your hands and put one on top of the other and just sit them in your lap. And we're just going to do a little breathing exercise. And you can feel free to close your eyes. If not, just keep your gaze about a foot in front of you. And in this moment, just look at your breath. Noticing your breath, noticing how the breath comes into your body, and noticing how the breath goes out. And in that, let's take 3 deep breaths together, in through our nose and out through our mouth. So first, deep breath in through our nose, as much air as you can pull into your nose, and then slowly, slowly, slowly releasing out through your mouth. And then another deep, deep breath in through your nose, as much air as you can pull in. And then slowly, slowly, slowly releasing out through your mouth. And then last deep breath in through your nose, as much air as you can pull in. And then to slowly release all of that air out through your mouth. And then in this moment, just letting your breath happen and noticing your breath. And also noticing your emotions that you are experiencing in this moment without any judgment or without changing anything, almost as if you were outside of yourself. Notice where you are in this moment emotionally. Pay homage to your emotions. how you're feeling in this moment. Try not to push anything away. In reflection of all that's gone on, just knowing that it is okay to feel in this moment. And as you feel those emotions, I'd love for everyone to notice the community that they have around them, the supportive community of like-minded people who offer hopefulness. And I'd like us to go forward today with the thought of hopefulness, knowing that we have supportive networks that help us to be able to take care of ourselves in these times of distress, and also to take appropriate action wherever necessary to take care of ourselves and to help make things right in the world. This morning, I want everyone to look toward hopefulness and hold that into your heart. And then notice your breath. Noticing your breath, grounding you in this moment, preparing you for the day, creating a sense of readiness. Noticing how the breath comes in and noticing how the breath goes out. And with that, I'm going to ask you all to open your eyes whenever you're ready. And I thank you all for your grounding this morning and support you in your journey throughout the day. And with that, I'm going to pass back to Yindi.
Thank you,
Yes,
Elaine.
Yindi.
Thank you so much for that. Thank you, everyone, for being here. And thank you, everyone, for going through the meditation. And again, I just want to honor where everybody is at today and this morning. So we are here to talk about, hold on, I'm just going to, from the beginning, let me make sure. Okay, I'm going to share the screen now so we can start. And great. Danny, do you see it?
Yeah, I can see it.
Okay, great. So we are here to talk about combating food insecurity in New York City. As an organization, we are the lead CBO in over 24 community schools, and we serve school communities in Manhattan, Brooklyn, and Bronx, and Queens. So based on our own experience and research, we wanted to compile resources used in one organized place, because I feel like there's so many things right now that we're being inundated with. And we wanted to give you some of the best resources we have found in regards. So we're going to start with going over some specific numbers in regards to the food crisis in New York City. And then we're going to go over some general questions and answers from the mayor's office in regards to immigration status and food security, because I know that has been coming up a lot in our schools as well. And then I'm going to highlight specific resources and websites that will help all of our school communities navigate all that is out there right now. At 10:30, we're also really lucky to have Lucy Ramos, who's the community school director for Academy for Young Writers in Spring Creek Community High School in East New York, who's gonna join us to share her own personal experience in setting up a food pantry, stocking it, and ensuring that it's still up and running during COVID-19 on her campus. And we'll give everyone a chance to ask questions too. I will say, in putting this workshop together, and seeing how much the city has rallied to take care of one another, it's just kind of served as another reminder of how much I love the city. So it has been, as hard as it is, there's some optimism and hope as well. So I hope that this is helpful. And Danny's going to look at the chat box. We'll have some time for questions, but she'll help navigate that as much as possible. And I do want to say this entire PowerPoint will be sent to all the participants. So you'll have direct access to all of the links and Instagram accounts that you should be looking at. But also at the end of the PowerPoint, it's all compiled on one page. So you don't have to go through the whole PowerPoint again. I've made this as user-friendly as possible for everyone. Okay. All right, so just some overall New York City facts right now. Pantries gave out more this past November, 115,000 turkeys, which is double last year's amount. In October, City Harvest, one of the biggest food distributors, gave out 429,000 pounds of food a day, which is twice as much as this time in 2019. There's a food pantry app, which I'm going to go over, but it's called Plentiful. And back in October, November, there were 250,000 users on this app from March to October, of 2020, which is already a 50% increase in users, also compared to 2019. COVID-19 forced nearly 1/3 of the city's food pantries, most dependent on senior citizen volunteers, to shut down. So these closures led to massive turnouts at those that remained open for families. So you have families were walking as far as Coney Island to Park Slope just for a grab and go meal, which is why you are seeing those massive long lines right now in some of our communities. Before coronavirus, over 1 million people in New York City, nearly 53 times the number of seats in Madison Square Garden, were considered food insecure, according to the latest data from Feeding America. That figure was expected to skyrocket by 38% by the end of 2020. Before the end of last year, an estimated 1.5 million New Yorkers cannot afford food, according to the New York Times. So how can we help combat this? These are general questions that the mayor's office has answered, but also pertains to immigration status. So I thought this would be a good way to ground us before we dive into specific resources. So I lost my job. How can I eat for free? How can I feed my family or for low cost? So just so you know, all New Yorkers can access free meals during the COVID-19 crisis. The city provides 3 free meals. This is specifically in reference to the grab and go that you're hearing about. Regardless of your status, New Yorkers are provided 3 meals that they can get at over 500 meal hubs citywide. There's no registration or identification required. You just show up and you can grab your meals. These meal hubs, which are a lot of our schools are meal hubs, a lot of community centers, they are open Monday through Friday from 7:30 a.m. to 1:30 p.m. And adults and children can pick up multiple meals at a time. So if you needed 6 meals, you could potentially grab that as long as they had all of that available. There's no limit to how many you can take. There are vegetarian and halal options available at all the sites, and kosher options are available at select sites. You can also text food to 877-877 to find a location near you, or go to the newyorkcity.gov website, which we'll also go over again, to view an interactive map of free food locations. Again, there is no income limit to access New York City's grab and go meals. Anybody has access to this. Then the second question is there a way I can get food to take back and cook at home? So this is in regards to all the food pantries that have been being stocked across the city. New York City currently has a network of about 800 food pantries with locations in all 5 boroughs. In this workshop, we will go over various websites and specifically the Plentiful app to help locate them. And I just want to reiterate, there is no income limit to access New York City's food pantries or community kitchens for groceries and hot meals. There's also a list of LGBTQ and friendly food pantries, which is this website right here for you to look and use as a resource for your school communities as well. And I don't know, that's weird. Okay, so there is a slide missing. Okay. You know what, we'll end up going over it in our website. So then I just wanted to highlight a couple of other things. Here it is. Okay. So I'm sorry, I can't see because of the camera. What if I can't leave my house, right? This is a question that has also come up. Get Food NYC has an emergency home delivery that is available. This website is intended for individuals and families who meet all of the following criteria as a result of the COVID-19 emergency. So no members of the household, if no members of the household can go out and get food because they are at increased medical risk or homebound, they qualify, but they have to meet all of these credentials in order to qualify for this delivery service. No neighbors or family members can go out and get food for you. You do not currently receive any meal assistance from other providers. This includes Meals on Wheels or God's Love We Deliver. And you are unable to afford meal delivery or groceries delivery. Households that qualify will be able to order 2 food deliveries per week at a time for up to 2 weeks, and then they reassess the current situation. The first delivery will be delivered within 6 days of the initial order date. And I'll also go through the website where you can sign up for this after we go through these general questions. Question 4, a lot of people have been asking, do I need any ID or driver license? No, no registration or identification is required to use and utilize these resources that I'm going over. And just finally, will any of these benefits impact my public charge? Visiting a food pantry, picking up a grab and go meal, or receiving food delivery assistance will not impact your ability to apply for a green card or citizenship. If you have questions about how assessing certain public benefits may affect immigration status, you can call the free confidential Action NYC hotline, which is listed here, for information and connections to immigration legal help. Okay. So then I wanted to highlight specifically these 3 food pantries because they have been serving so many people in such an abundant amount of numbers. The Masbia Soup Kitchen opened 15 years ago, and it does have locations in Brooklyn, Borough Park, and Flatbush, and Forest Hills and Queens. All 3 locations are feeding over 1,500 families a day. But I wanted to highlight this specifically because instead of making people stand on a long line for hours, this specific soup kitchen network has transitioned into digital lines. So you have to make an appointment to pick up your food box, but again, you're not standing in lines for hours at a time. And I've included the to make an appointment, you text the word food to that number. And then Bronx Works is a nonprofit group that provides support services to individuals and families. They were serving 500 people each month before the pandemic, and now they're serving nearly 4,000 people per month. So this is also a great resource in the Bronx. And then I just wanted to highlight, I do wanted to, during this time, to be culturally sensitive. There are food pantries that are offering specific foods that people are looking for. So the South Asian Council for Social Services provides South Asian food items such as staples, pulses, and spices, and flushing cuisines, because that is something that you could potentially look for as well as you're guiding different families to different resources in New York City. So I don't think Lucy is here yet, so I'm going to give her some time before she gets here. So I'm going to start going over some of the websites that I've been talking about, so we can look at that together. The specific website, the nyc.gov and the nyc.gov get food, they're essentially the same website. They are basically I'm going to just look at a COVID-19 emergency food distribution page for NYC. I mean, this is probably the one that you'll see highlighted the most in your schools, but it does have all of the grab and go free food locations. It talks about the PEBT card that you should be receiving per child. Note, if your child is in universal pre-K, they are not going to receive this $420 credit, but most families should have received that already. Also, this is a good site because it gives you resources and helps families navigate it to see if they're eligible for food benefits, including SNAP and WIC. And it helps you step-by-step, give you step-by-step how to apply. And then it talks about the emergency food home delivery, which I highlighted earlier. I'll click on that in a second. I just want to go over the rest of the page. And then it also gives you some tips on cooking at home, grocery store delivery, and also how you can support your local food pantries and small food service businesses at this time. So, and then in regards to the food delivery service, I just wanted to show you the site. It's a super user-friendly, easy to fill out site. And that link will take you to the page that will enable you to set up food delivery service account. I do want to highlight that you're able to set up on behalf of a friend or a family member. So you could also do it for someone that needs it and is not able to do it for themselves or doesn't have computer access. There's an option to click I am a friend or family member of the individual who I am requesting food delivery. I have confirmed that the individual whom I'm requesting food delivery understands and agrees to the city's collection and use of information as described above. And then you create an account, and it takes you to this account registration page. And again, it's very general information. It's email, confirm email, phone number, and then just the address to deliver to. So just in case anybody's worried about like, giving out more information than that, it's not asking for IDs or driver license.
I just want to let you know that I'm not seeing the website on, I think only the PowerPoint.
Oh.
You might have to share your browser too, or your whole screen.
I don't know how to do that.
If you click share screen again, I think you can update the option.
Okay. Sorry, thank you for that.
You're welcome.
Technical difficulty. Okay, so it says I'm screen sharing. So do I add a new share? Do you see it now? No. Okay. It's okay.
Okay.
How about now?
Now I can see it.
Okay, so I have to go back between both, which is fine. I'll go back, and then, so yeah, so this is the food delivery account registration page, and then the next is this food bank. I will say this, I'm gonna show you guys this page, but it is not the most user-friendly page. There's definitely ones that are way more user-friendly that we're gonna go through, but I did wanna highlight this because it does enable you to not only find soup kitchen food pantries, but it also includes senior centers and SNAP enrollment centers near you. So essentially, the reason why it's not as user-friendly is because you actually have to zoom into the area that you're looking at. So you gotta kind of figure it out, and it's a little, you'll be able to play with it better on your laptops, but it's a little hard to see exactly. And then once you figure out the area that you're in, you click it, and then the see, it's not very user-friendly as you see. So essentially, you just have to play with it a little bit and get it to the area that you need. But then once you click on the little bubble, the contact information, the pantry type, and all of the information will appear on the left. I really would use this site really if you're looking for senior centers and SNAP enrollments, because for food pantries and other things, they'll be much easier sites to navigate. So moving forward, I want to talk quickly about the community fridges that have been popping up in our community. So this is a great website to find specific community fridges. So what you can do, and these are fridges that are stocked daily with fresh food for the neighborhood and the community. So when you click on this, you just type in New York, and it lists all of the stocked community fridges by borough that you'll be able to find that has fresh produce. Like anything that has to be kept cold is being stocked. Anything from sandwiches to fresh produce. A lot of neighborhood bodegas and grocery stores have also been putting food that may expire within the next few days in these fridges as well. But it's a really great resource, and the site will give you the most up-to-date fridges that are still being stocked on a daily basis. Another great option is for those of us who have access to Instagram to help if you go onto Instagram and you specifically search friendly fridge, it will give you a list of all the pages in all 5 boroughs that will also give you a picture of what the fridge looks like, what's being stocked. It's another way to really utilize social media to find different resources for our communities. And I know not all of us have access to Instagram, but it is a great way for you as the CSD or whoever is working with the school to find what's available within, even a 6-block radius of the school potentially. So that is the Community Fridge Initiative. And then Food Finder US. So this is a super user-friendly site when you're specifically trying to find food pantries in New York City. So unlike the other one where you have to zoom in, you can just type a zip code. So let's say I'm looking for a food pantry in Red Hook. I can type a Red Hook zip code or something close to a Red Hook zip code, and it zooms in for me. And then when I click it, the details immediately appear, and then you just click details, and it takes you to the most up-to-date information. It usually gives some sort of cell phone or office phone so you can reach people immediately. I have found that this is, if you're looking for food pantries, this is definitely the site that you should use. It's just so much easier than the previous one that I talked about. Okay, then we are going to go to Ample Harvest. So I included this website specifically. It is also a food pantry locator, but it's very fresh produce specific. Ampleharvest.org helps millions of backyard gardeners easily find a local food pantry to donate their extra garden produce to. What is also great about this is for those of us who are looking, it also enables you to find food pantries on a national level just by entering your zip code. So again, it's super user friendly. You enter a zip code, and then it goes to that area, and it has all of the places listed within 0.2 mile radius, and it also has more information and directions as needed. Okay, and then see, I'm gonna go here. The next, and then the last three are that are all in PowerPoint. Again, as I just have specific pantry information for the food pantries I highlighted earlier in the workshop. Okay, and now I'm gonna go back to my PowerPoint share. So I'm gonna do a new share. Go back to the PowerPoint. Current slide. So you'll see I went over Ample Harvest, and then the MASBIA, the Bronx Works, and the SACSSNewYork.org food pantry. Those are listed there as well. And that just brings you directly to the food pantry websites that were highlighted. So you can get information on that as well. Danny, has Lucy come in yet? Or Lucy, are you here yet?
Lucy, I haven't seen Lucy yet. I resent her the link just in case though.
Okay, so I'm just gonna keep going, and then when she gets here, let me know because she's on a really tight time.
Okay.
So, okay, so those are all. Are there any questions that have come up? I can't see the chat box, so Danny.
No questions.
Okay, great. Okay, so we're gonna keep moving. And I also wanted to highlight this really fantastic resource for our families. It is called Plentiful. New Yorkers can also download the app Plentiful, which was created in partnership with City Harvest, the United Way for New York City, and the New York City Food Assistant Collaborative. Not only does Plentiful help you locate food pantries by location and service times, but the free app also makes reservations at sites for you to avoid long wait times. Plentiful is a free, easy to use reservation system for food pantries and the people they serve. Use Plentiful to find pantries and get the food that you need without waiting in line. So essentially it's pretty easy. You have, oh, sorry about that. I don't know what's happening. So there are two ways to download. If you have an Android device, you are able to basically just download it onto your Android device. You go through the App Store and you can download it. If you do not have an Android, the other way, you basically text Plentiful in order to get the app onto your phone. You text food to 726-879, and that will basically give you access to this. It is a free app. It doesn't require, again, no identification. You don't put in any IDs. And the only people that have your information are the food pantries that the families decide to use. Information is not shared. It is a very safe app. And if anybody has any questions or is worried about the security of it, there is the website that I also listed. So you can go on, and it has an incredible fact page, and it'll go through all the questions that families might have. I'm not going to go over it right now because I saw Lucy is here. Hi, Lucy, welcome. So I want to make sure that she, I know she's on a tight time schedule, so I want to give her an opportunity to really talk to everybody about her own setting up a food pantry experience in her school. So I'm going to hand it to you, Lucy.
Hi, everyone. I do have a small PowerPoint, about 4 slides.
Oh, so I'll stop sharing so you can share.
Okay, great.
Okay.
Just bear with me a few minutes so I can bring it up. So we actually have been doing the pantry at our school since November, and that's been extremely successful. We are a little bit scattered when they told us that the school were going to close for a couple of weeks or a month, so we didn't know what we were going to do, but we strategized and we made it work. And I'm just going to show basically what we do to make it work and how we could basically keep the social distance without actually still serving the community. So I'm just getting the slides together. Give me 1 second. Okay, can everyone see my slide?
Yeah.
Okay, perfect. So we decided to basically put it in a sense where we break it down. And the way we break it down is by trying to coordinate as best as possible. So usually the month before the pantry date, we place the order and we try to best fit the order to meet the community's needs. A lot of children are home, so we try to get a lot of snacks that are for the children, a lot of canned goods, like a lot of mac and cheese, soups, things that are just comfort food for the people that are home. So the next step is the parent coordinator and myself. We will meet, discuss the dates as well as the slot times. I am a community school director for 2 schools. So we do have a big community. So we try to divide it. We'll have one school come in the morning slot and then have about half an hour to prep for the next school, meaning cleaning, wiping, doing things like that. We also create a registration form where all the families need to complete because it'll give us a window on how many people we're expecting, how to prepare, and so on. So that's done the month before the pantry date. 2 to 3 weeks before the pantry date, we set up a conference with the volunteers, which volunteers will attend and will come into the building. Since we're currently close with students and staffs, we need the full names of the volunteers because the principal will need to grant us access for the days that we will be packing as well as the pantry day. Just to make sure everybody is accounted for in case there is an outbreak, in case something does happen with COVID, we have everyone that was in the building that day. The week of the pantry, I will accept the delivery, keeping obviously proper COVID procedures, such as wearing my mask, keeping 6 distance from the drivers, wiping down the boxes before I would even touch them. I would print out the families that will attend so I could, again, get a basic idea of what we're doing. 2 to 3 days before the actual pantries, the volunteers will come in and we will pre-bag all the products. So if we have 30 families in each school, we'll do 30 bags and a little bit more just in case. But everything is pre-packed, so there'll be less contact with the families. And pretty much the day of, I will mark the sidewalk with the tape, basically distancing 6 feet. I have posters and I have signs basically reminding the families that not only keep your 6 distance, keep your mask on, and we make sure that they get 1 pen used. So we have a stack of pens, family gets it, we give it out. When they come in, they sign, they keep that pen and they keep on continuing. We have also hand sanitizers posted in the main entrance. So whoever feels unease, they could just clean their hands. The volunteers and myself, we all are wearing masks, we all wearing gloves, and we are constantly sanitizing ourselves. The family will walk, they actually do not come into the building, they stay on the sidewalk. So they will literally just come into the front entrance, sign the paper where there's a table, and our volunteers will put the food in the shopping cart with no contact to the person. There's no hand and stay exchange whatsoever. And that's basically what we've been doing. Like I said, it was a very short presentation, but that's what we've been doing. And thank God it has worked for us. We have been able to, thank God there's no we haven't got any COVID or anything. So we are very blessed. And we do get about, from each school is about anywhere from 50 to 70 families.
Yeah, that's like incredible, Lucy. So Lucy, just a quick, what if a CSD is at a site and they've never done this before? What's the first thing you could recommend for them to do? Like they don't have it, like who should they even, like, just what's the first step if they want to bring a pantry to their school?
The food bank. So
Mhm.
first, I should coordinate with the parent coordinator because there will be a huge support for yourself, but also the food bank will be an extreme support. So they will, and it's pretty easy. So once you are registered, they have you do a webinar to explain how the food banks works, how you order, what is your budget, and so on. So the person, it will definitely be the food bank is the first person to contact.
That's great. And again, we have all those incredible resources that you can use to connect with your food bank that we went over during the website portion. So that would be a great way to start this. And so while we still have Lucy, are there any questions for her specifically about setting up a food pantry at your school during COVID times? No? Okay. All right, thank you. Oh, wait, does the food bank donate food?
So yes, that's a great
Go ahead,
question.
Lucy. Yeah.
So they actually have what they call spirit of food. So if they have something like deli products, they'll call us and they're like, hey, we have this certain amount of food that is not going to go into your budget. So we'll donate that food and it'll be a box of, they gave us a holiday box, which was about 40 boxes. They're not going to give you as much as you would like, but they'll give you 40 boxes of complete ready holiday ingredients. And last time they gave us a full box of daily products. So we had yogurt, cheese, eggs, things like that. And that was also part of like, it was in part of our budget. So they do sometimes have foods that other people also donate to the food bank.
Great. Great question. Okay, anyone else?
And if I could just add something, Andy, that we stated, it's important that when you do connect with the food bank to order meals that are basically, one, that they'll last, and two, that they are basically kid friendly, because a lot of kids are home at this time and parents as well. We go try to keep a good record of how many families are coming in, have everyone sign in, because that determines what the next year is going to look like. So like, well, you know what, they have a big need in this community and in this school, so we're going to give them a larger budget. So it's always important to have everyone sign in, determine how many family members. It does not matter who's in the household, everybody counts, and that also helps out for us and the community.
That's great. Good advice, Lucy. Thank you again. Okay, so thank you, Lucy. I'll let you get back. She's on a busy day.
Yeah.
So thank you again.
Bye.
I appreciate it. Bye. Okay, so that brings us close to the end of the workshop. So I'm just gonna share my screen again. I don't know why it's hard for me to share my screen. Okay, so I'm gonna go to share screen. Okay, so we went over the Plentiful app, and essentially here is the one pager of all of the sites we went over in one place. And again, you'll get the one pager and you'll get all of these resources and the PowerPoint. So lastly, I just want to make sure there are any final thoughts or questions or concerns. I really hope you're able to utilize these resources and that you'll be able to continue to support our school communities and help to ease this food shortage any way possible. So Danny's going to put in a survey as well in the chat box for you to fill out to see if you were able to how effective this was and what else do you need and how else can we continue to support you in this endeavor right now. I know it's a lot. So there's the evaluation link. And again, right now, I want to give an opportunity. We have time. Are there any other questions or concerns or anything else you want to go over or highlight in the meantime? No? Okay, well, as you fill out the evaluation link, I just want to say again, thank you for joining us today and for continuing to do all the incredible work that you're doing out there.
Thank you, everyone. And then just as a final reminder, if you could just retype your name and your organization in the chat box before you click on the link and head out for your day.
Thank you.
Thank you, Armando. Thank you for coming.
Thank you. Thank you, Elizabeth.
Thanks, Michael. I'm glad. And we will make sure the PowerPoint gets sent to you so that you have access to all the links.